you start out by writing about the things around you, because there's an ocean of story right around you. So I'll tell you one from right around me. And I like to read this. It's hard for me to read, and I always cry. But it's for real. You know, tears are good, right? A sin. Committed a sin yesterday in the hallway at noon. I roared at my son. I grabbed him by the shirt collar. I frightened him so badly that he cowered and wept. And when he turned to run, I grabbed him by the arm so roughly that he flinched. And it was that flicker of fear and pain across his face, the bright, eager, wholly riveting face I've loved for 10 years, that stopped me then and haunts me this morning. For I am the father of that fear. I sent it snarling into his heart, and I can never get it out now, which torments me and will torment me every day the rest of my life. Yes, he was picking on his brother, and yes, he picked on his brother all morning, and yes, this was a culmination of many edgy incidents already, and no, he hadn't paid the slightest attention to warnings and remonstrations, and yes, he'd been snide and supercilious all day, and yes, he had deliberately done exactly the thing he'd been specifically warned not to do. But still I roared at him and grabbed him and terrified him and made him cower. And now there's a dark, evil wriggle between us that makes me sit here with my hands over my face, ashamed to the bottom of my bones. I don't know how sins can be forgiven. I grasp the concept. I admire the genius of the idea. I suspect it to be the seed of all real peace. I savor those who have the mad courage to live by it, but I don't understand how foul can be made fair. What's done cannot be undone, and my moment of rage in the hallway is an indelible scar on his heart and mine. And while my heart is a ragged old bag after half a century of slings and stings, his is still the new, eager, open, suggestible, innocent heart of the young. He's committed only the small sins of a child, the halting first lies, the failed test paper hidden in the closet, the window broken in petulance, the stolen candy bar, the silent witness as a classmate is bullied, the insults flung like knives at the dinner table. Whereas I'm a man and have had many lies squirming in my mouth, and far too often evaded the mad, ragged Christ, ignored his stink, his rotten teeth, his cloak of soggy newspapers, his voice of broken glass. No God can forgive what we do to each other. Only the injured can summon that extraordinary grace. And where such grace is born, we cannot say for all our fitful genius and miraculous machinery. We use the word God so easily, so casually, as if our label for the incomprehensible meant anything at all. And we forget all too easily that the wriggle of holy is born only through the stammer and stumble of us, who are always children. So we turn again and again to each other and bow and ask forgiveness and mill what mercy we can muster from the muddle of our hearts. The instant I let go of my son's sinewy arm in the hallway, he sprinted away and slammed the door and flew off the porch and ran down the street, and I stood there simmering in shame. And then I walked down the hill into the laurel thicket, as dense and silent as the dawn of the world, and found him there huddled and sobbing. We sat in the moist green dark for a long time, not saying anything, the branches burly and patient. Finally, I asked quietly for his forgiveness, and he asked for mine, and we walked out of the woods hand in hand, changed men. Amen.